This is how this is gonna go. It's gonna be rapid fire. Everybody up there can talk. I know these brothers and sisters. Everybody can talk. I will politely moderate, so don't get mad at me.
There's always been plans for us, but the problem is we don't have any plans.
Living that thug life over the internet.
We go through a lot of things that are more positive, that are more inspiring in our neighborhoods that they don't show. That's my issue.
Yes,
that's my issue. The issue that they will paint my black sisters in a way where they're only fighting, arguing, and bitching.
Because what are we going to do after this panel is over? I'm on 1 million panels. Every panel I go to, there's no implementation of anything that we talk about when we leave. I promise I'm ready.
There's a lot of communities out there that are struggling just as any other urban community. So I can't agree with just he has to do for us, he has to do for us. He has to do for all, not just for one.
That's right. Give it up for
Talk about why we don't have economic development in our own communities. Those are the conversations that we need to be having, and they're real conversations. And when Lupe says what he says, to me, that's what he's pointing to. The counter argument doesn't address that. It just dismisses it. And we can't dismiss that.
Now, people don't know this. Like, Lupe Fiasco was one of the first brothers involved with Occupy. He was there with the original Occupy Wall Street cast in New York right before he came into the show in Philly. And so his frustration with our political system and with where we are is a genuine frustration. And although I may not agree with where he is, I can respect where he is and where he comes from, because I know who his father was and what his father did. You know, you got to know where he's coming from in Chicago. You got to understand the things that he understands before you can dismiss him as somebody who is anti-Obama or
the umbrella conversation hasn't happened, and there hasn't been the overt outreach. You know, I think, like Malik said, we've been looking for the White House to address a lot of issues that we know about, even in Chicago, where we obviously know that the president's from, and we haven't heard those speeches.
And I've always felt like the source serves a bigger purpose. It wasn't just about writing about hip hop, but there was this underlying community element to the magazine. And people who I work with even today still want to write for the source, still want to be a part of the source because it still means something to them.
A lot of times we lose young people, especially, you know, you got schools cutting back arts and culture and music programs. Like the main things that a lot of times energize young people because they have gifts and talents that they want to show, you know what I'm saying? And we're losing them because a lot of times we don't engage that.
There's a person that worked with the league and it was talking about how to tell your story, you know what I'm saying? And she asked me who was my motivation, you know what I'm saying, in life. And I said, it was my brother. Because he looked up to me, that's what drove me to go and do what I had to do and handle my responsibility. We got an obligation, you feel me, as fans to musicians to tell them what we want.
I think that's our biggest issue right now is that we go vote and then we check out. I call it voting cosmetically. I think we go out there, we look at somebody who looks like us, walks like us, talks like us, and then we walk away after we cast our vote, go back and resolve into our natural lives.
4 Mile area. But in the city of Detroit, and often you hear on the news about food deserts and stuff like that, there isn't one grocery store, one major chain in the city of Detroit. So that's not the people of Detroit saying, we don't want you, Kroger. That's Kroger saying, we don't want you, Detroit. That's saying that we refuse. We're basically practicing an embargo. And one of the things that inspired me about what my people did in the absence, in the face of that kind of hostility, which is racist, which is a lot of things, is they began growing their own community gardens. And right now in Detroit, we have the largest network of urban farming anywhere in the country.